Hey, everybody, welcome to the Trusted Coaching Podcast. You've got me, Tyson, and who else is here? The man.
Aloha. Aloha, not in Aloha land, but that's okay.
Oh, man. How you been?
I've had frostbite on my toes twice.
Oh,
Yeah, my
no.
buddy takes me fishing up in Kolob Lake. Yeah, that was cool. It was so fun, but I wasn't properly prepared. And then, I don't wear shoes, habit, stupidity. And I lived in St. George for a while, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do this. I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to think this was such good weather. It's not, but that's okay. It's okay. It's such a
That's
lovely place. Love it.
well, for
Yeah.
any of you that are listening, I want to make sure that you know that if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, Fader shares these awesome emails that are short, simple, and sweet that challenge you to just keep going in your
Hmm.
self-discovery because this is what it's all about. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the March Madness since it's March and it's basketball season. But we're going to put a spin on it. We're going to talk about the March Madness of money. And Fader, you've had what, like 35 plus years of financial advising experience?
Yes, sir. That is 30 plus years. And yeah, just hit on the trustedcoaching.com and
Yeah.
run over there, put that email in there, stay connected with us, pick up these wonderful things about daddy and mama of the year, and more importantly, the 8 different characteristics of our coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
Components, I should say. They're not necessarily characteristics, but one of them is finance. And we're in the area of finance today, and March Madness is upon us. And next week, when March Madness starts, I'll have 4 televisions in the front room and going at different times. Used to go down to Vegas and sit and watch in those big screens, but the guys that'd go down there, they would take their winnings, from they would stick it all on red, lose it within the first 5 minutes. And so we said, you know what, we're just not going to do that anymore.
Oh, man.
We'll just stay at home in our houses and not lose our money.
That's awesome.
Money is a madness. Hasn't it been difficult for you at times, Tyson?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I know. And I think, money's just a consistent thing that's on people's minds. And if we don't solve this, I think it can just be a continual thorn in our side.
Well put. Well put. So let's help. Let's
Yeah.
help. Let's give you some ideas, some things that I've seen over the years. Number one is most everyone has one account, and then everything just comes from that account.
Mhm.
But rather than just having everything come from one account, try setting up 3 or 4 different ones that may include like your trips and extravagant purchases.
Mm.
And for those who are planning to put monies away for weddings or houses or missions or whatever it might be, there's some really cool or college. There's UGMA accounts, UGMA, UTMA, or the wonderful 529 plan where people can put a significant amount of money away. But we do is we put it all together and we rob, and then when we need finances or things get tight, we rob from one to go to another. Rob from Paul to go to enhance Mary's position, and it never works. You have to create each account like it's Fort Knox, and don't put the money in there unless you can commit to, I'm never going to touch it. It's going to, I
Mm.
mean, obviously there are times on
Yeah.
death or disability or loss of job, you got to just survive. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trying to be consistent with your money, and then we justify it by stealing from one to take to another. And that's the first thing. And so we talk about never spending more money than we make. That's been around forever.
Right.
That's not the problem. Well, it is a problem for many, but it's allocating the monies to specific avenues of revenue, as I call it. Avenues. Put them in different avenues and let them take care of themselves. Does that make sense?
I guess when you say avenues of revenue, maybe you could clarify what that.
Well, I have specifically an avenue to put money away for trips and expenses, large purchases like a
Mm.
car
Yeah.
or travel. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you'll create a travel fund, a large expense fund like cars, whatever,
Hmm.
a house, etc., and then you can create other funds for weddings and for missions and etc., etc. The more you can create, the more diversity you'll have, and then each one of those can be attached to a risk tolerance level, meaning
Oh.
how risky do I want to be when I put that money in that area. So if I'm saving for my kid's wedding and he just
Mhm.
born 20 years from now, I'm going to put that in a much higher risk tolerance, like stocks. And we rate them from 1 to 10 being like 10 being most risky, 1 being conservative.
Right.
For things like that, you want to put them in like 8, 9, and 10 because you got 20 years to work with, right? Most people are understanding that nowadays.
Yeah.
But I run into a lot of people who've got their kids, wedding funds or stuff like that in the bank.
Right. Okay.
No.
So what you're saying is once you have kind of created the separate accounts for whatever you're wanting or whatever's needed, the money doesn't stay in the bank. It's not like just a holding place. It's a place that you may put money in, but you're investing that money in growth in a revenue generating way.
You bet.
Okay.
That's
That makes
it.
sense.
All right, number 2. Shout out to Box House, one of my clients, one of my snipers. If you want a little teeny house, reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with the great Jeff Staples, who's sponsoring today's podcast because he's taking me to lunch tomorrow.
There you go.
That's the kind of sponsors we have. We work for food, don't we?
That's awesome.
So yeah. I want to get one of these box houses and put it over in Hawaii on a secluded ranch somewhere. Number two. It's talked about in cultivating a mindset of money, embracing thoughts of abundance, and reject the notions of lack. Lack is the great destroyer of finance. It's like one of my players said recently, I've only got, a little bit of money in my account. I'm like, well, who are you comparing that to? Are you comparing that to what? Well, we say we compare it to, most of the world. And if you've got any money in your bank account, you're wealthier than half the world already to start up. But that doesn't work for our mindset because we're like, but reality sets in and I got to pay the bills, et cetera, et cetera. The wealthy, this is really kind of number 3 as well. The wealthy people, they don't just think about money, they dream about money. They're constantly talking about how they can produce more money so that they can use it to help other people. And that's kind of number 4 is if you get in the habit of giving away your money early in your life, then it becomes easier and easier. And when you give your money away, it's funny how you often get more money down the road. It's just, I always tell people, do this exercise. Take 2 of your favorite shirts, give them away, whether it's to Desert Industries or just to a friend or whatever, just give them away. And within 2 months, you'll have 2 new shirts and you won't even know how they popped up. It happens, like it's happened so many times to me. It's just crazy. And so one of the cool exercises that we do in our coaching is every Sunday, I have my snipers set up take 15 minutes and go around the house and get 3 to 5 things that you can give away. We can all do this. Take 3 to 5 things. Make sure you check with mama. Don't be taking her coolest knife and giving it away, or, her cooking knife or your cooking knife, whatever. It's a practice that we say we're good at, but in reality, we just don't practice that much. And that is giving away stuff, either money or material possessions of both, et cetera, or move to Hawaii and you'll be forced to give it away.
Yeah, there you go.
You're not going to pack your whole house up and take it over to Hawaii. So just pretend you're moving to Hawaii and you will become a minimalist in no time at all. But the point I'm making is really simple. Develop the habit of every Sunday putting in your calendar, give 3 to 5 things away that are from my materialistic world or my money world, whether it's $1 or $5 or 500 or 5,000, I don't care. It is such a beautiful concept. So practice that more often. Share your good fortune, both materially and monetarily.
Well, I think that practice as well is, I think it just supports the mindset piece because it's like, it's just a forcing function to say, okay, I'm going to give things away and I'm going to, with the giving away, believe that things are going to come my way in the process.
Beautiful. Richness, number 5 is richness isn't just wealth. Okay. It's a skill set to be rich. And we don't get that very well, especially in our chasing, because rich individuals perfectly understand the art of delayed gratification. And I am not picking on St. George, but I am. I moved from here 5 years ago and it doesn't even look like the same place, right? There's so much chasing going on, so much keeping up with the Joneses. It's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. The delayed gratification is not being delayed. I mean, there's the funniest Instagram. I got to remember what it is, but it's this guy and he's hilarious. He's talking with a Scottish or English accent and he's like, I've got so many garages, I don't even know how many garages I have. And he's filming with this big, huge, he's in St. George doing it. And he says, I used to have the biggest house in town until, and then he reflects over to the temple, until God moved in. So clever. And yeah, for those that are listening that live in St. George or anywhere for that matter, please push your ego aside. I'm not attacking, I'm not condemning, I'm not judging. I'm just simply saying one of the biggest challenges of financial security is the ability to have delayed gratification and avoid, period.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't like debt, but it's amazing what will go into it. But number 6 is if this practice seems challenging, it's because, it might be time to reevaluate your monetary habits. I love my annual reviews that I have with my clients. I still have 160 financial clients that I still have, and I review their finances once or twice a year. And if you don't have somebody that you can review your financial habits with, trustedcoaching.com, push that little button.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would be so happy to just take 1 hour every year with you and just review your finances. Even if you have a financial advisor, get a different perspective, as healthy as well. I mean, everybody can trust their financial advisor, and I know you can,
Yeah.
those of you who have them. I once spoke with this guy at a large symposium, and I was like amazed at the stuff he was doing as a financial analyst and advisor. And then 6 months later, he got 5 years jail sentence I was like, whoa, there's a lot of fraud in the financial world. There's a lot of misleading information. There's a lot of things that are just untrue about the financial world. And so I caution everybody to make sure that they're getting their perspective from their financial analysts, and then they're getting someone from a dad or someone who knows finances, or check out. You're welcome to come over to our camp and talk to us about it too.
Well, I think what's unique about you, Fader, is that it's not just about the finances. Like, I don't know if you've ever really had a conversation where you could stick to one concept and not help someone else with every other thing that they're going on in their life, but that's been my experience. So if you were to work with Fader and set up that kind of call, I promise you it's going to be a whole life kind of approach. And I think that's the different perspective that we need sometimes.
Yeah, don't tease me because my brain is dissected into 8 categories. It's not my fault. I don't know how it happened, but I just know that one flat tire causes the whole car to have to pull over to the side of the road.
Right.
Yeah. So it really sucks when you get 2 flat tires or 3, like the person this morning that I had a conversation with. 3 flat tires going at the same time.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. One with his kid, one with his business, and one with his marriage.
Yeah.
3 flat tires. So we did
That's hard.
A lot of pumping up and reevaluating things. So anyway, March Madness, I wish you all the very best with your money.
Yep.
These 6 concepts are very helpful and strategically aligned with all of us. We all have to face every one of the things we just talked about today. And I hope that they've helped you in some small way.
Yeah. And if you guys, we're going to create a little bit of a worksheet or just a breakdown of these, because we don't have really the time to go in depth on all of them, but we want to be able to share that with those that are in the Trusted Club. So you can find out more about that at trustedcoaching.com, where you can sign up for that. It's a monthly collab where we dive deeper.
How much does that cost?
It's what, $29 a month?
$29 a month.
Yeah,
that's so
it's a
cheap.
steal. And the thing is, the priority is self-discovery, but you learn these various categories like finance. You learn them more in depth, and for you to be able to apply even just one category could be well worth a lunch.
Yes, sir.
I feel like that's the cost of lunch now these days is $30. So save yourself.
Crazy.
Go without lunch and get into the Trusted Club.
It's another inflationary thing. Yeah, we tried to not make the entry into Trusted Club inflationary, so it's deflationary. So thanks for listening, and as always, we say you can trust it.
We'll see ya.